The Galactic Council had seen many species rise and fall across the stars, but none quite like humanity. They were a paradox wrapped in flesh, capable of profound compassion, yet harboring a darkness that could eclipse suns. The Council was about to learn this the hard way. Captain Nancy Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the UES Retribution, her jaw clenched so tight it ached. Behind her, Commander Parker Chen reviewed the footage for the 100th time. Though every viewing carved deeper wounds into his soul, the holographic display showed the colony on Kepler 4 to be, specifically the education center where 217 human children had been. The Zenthari claim it was a regrettable necessity, Parker said, his voice hollow. They say the colony was in their ancestral territory. Nancy's knuckles whitened on the command console. Ancestral territory they abandoned 3,000 years ago. They glassed an entire settlement because we had the audacity to farm land they forgot existed. She turned to face him, and Parker saw something in her eyes he'd never seen before, not in 15 years of serving together. It was the look of a mother bear whose cubs had been slaughtered. "Nancy, don't," she interrupted. "Don't tell me we need to wait for the Council's decision. Don't tell me there are proper channels. My daughter was at that education center, Parker. Sarah was 7 years old." The bridge fell silent. Every officer present had lost someone on Kepler 4 to be. The Zenthari hadn't just attacked a colony. They'd targeted the children first, claiming it would break human spirit and force an immediate surrender. They had miscalculated catastrophic ally. Within 48 hours, 17 human warships appeared in Zenthari space. Within a week, it was 200. Within a month, the entire human armada, every vessel that could achieve faster-than-light travel, had assembled at the Zenthari home system. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session. Ambassador Tkesh of the Valorian Collective, a species that had observed humanity for decades, addressed the chamber with growing alarm. "Honored members, the humans are not engaging in typical retaliatory strikes. They are methodical, terrifyingly so." Tkesh's tentacles writhed with anxiety. "They've quarantined every Zenthari world. Every single one. No ships in, no ships out. They're not firing yet, but they've deployed something around each planet." "What kind of weapon?" asked the Council Prime, his translator struggling with the fear in his voice. "We don't know. Our sensors can't identify it. But the humans, they're just waiting." On the Retribution's bridge, Nancy received a transmission from Earth. It was from the World Assembly, humanity's unified government. She expected orders to stand down, to let diplomacy work. Instead, she received authorization. "Parker, initiate Protocol Omega-7, Nancy ordered. Her voice steady despite the tears streaming down her face. Parker hesitated for only a moment. "Nancy, this is extinction-level deployment. Are you— They killed our children, Parker. They specifically targeted our children to break us." She turned to him, and he saw not just grief but an ancient, primal fury that stretched back to the caves of Earth. "We're going to show the galaxy what happens when you break humanity. We don't break. We burn those who tried." The devices around each Zenthari world activated simultaneously. They weren't bombs or lasers or any conventional weapon the galaxy recognized. They were something humanity had developed in secret, born from their darkest impulses and their most brilliant minds working in terrible harmony. Temporal disruptors. The Zenthari homeworld and every colony began experiencing time dilation. For every second that passed in normal space, a year passed on their worlds. The Zenthari would watch their own civilization age and crumble and fast forward, unable to escape, unable to call for help, unable to do anything but witness their species' extinction in real time. The Galactic Council, monitoring from a safe distance, watched in horror. "They're not just killing them," Tkesh whispered. "They're making them watch their entire species die. Stars will burn out for them while we experience ours." Council Prime tried to establish communication with the human fleet. Nancy's face appeared on the view screen, and what the Council saw made their various blood types run cold. She wasn't raging. She wasn't shouting. She was calm, and that was infinitely more terrifying. "You wanted to break human spirit," Nancy said softly. "You thought killing our children would make us surrender. You don't understand us at all. Humans don't have a spirit you can break. We have a line you don't cross, and you obliterated it. Captain Rodriguez, Council Prime pleaded, "This is genocide. You're committing the very atrocity you're punishing." "No," Parker's voice cut in, joining Nancy on the transmission. "They committed genocide against innocents. We're committing justice against the guilty." Every Xanthari adult participated in or supported their government's decision. They celebrated when our children died. They miscalculated what humanity becomes when you harm our young. Nancy continued, "We're broadcasting this across every galactic frequency. Let this be humanity's line in the cosmos: harm our children, and your species doesn't get a second chance. Not a trial, not a negotiation, not a warning, just extinction." The temporal disruptors would run for 300 years of normal time. For the Xanthari, it would be 300 million years, long enough for their sons to begin dying. The Galactic Council could only watch as humanity demonstrated what happens when the galaxy's youngest species discovered that their greatest strength wasn't their technology or their adaptability. It was their absolute, unwavering, terrifying devotion to protecting their children. Parker stood beside Nancy as they watched the Xanthari homeworld age behind the temporal field. "The galaxy will fear us after this," he said quietly. "Good," Nancy replied. "Let them fear. Let every species know that humanity's children are untouchable. We'll be the monsters under the galaxy's bed if that's what it takes." And across the stars, civilizations received humanity's message: "You can negotiate with us, trade with us, even fight us, but harm our children, and you'll discover that humans aren't the galaxy's friends or its explorers or its merchants. They're its vengeful gods, and mercy is a privilege reserved only for those who protect the innocent." The age of humanity had truly begun, written not in exploration or discovery, but in the ashes of those who learned too late that some lines should never be crossed. The end.